Good morning. You're listening to The Brief Wake Up, your mindful start to the day. I'm Handel, your daily coffee companion, helping you wake up informed, thoughtful, and maybe a little bit more amused before the day gets old. If you're commuting, corralling kids, or just standing in line for caffeine, you're in the right place. Let's get you caught up. This morning, we turn our eyes to a war that's been raging mostly out of the headlines, Sudan. What began in April 2023 as a power struggle between two generals, one of the Sudanese armed forces and the other of the paramilitary rapid support force known as Hemedti, has spiraled into one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. The conflict shattered a fragile democratic transition that followed the fall of longtime ruler Omar al-Bashir in 2019. What was once hope for civilian rule has become a grinding war fought street by street, especially in the capital Khartoum and the Darfur region, a name already synonymous with genocide. The toll is staggering. Thousands have been killed, entire neighborhoods leveled, more than 9 million people are displaced, the largest internal displacement crisis on the planet right now. Hospitals are destroyed, aid convoys attacked, and the UN says famine is imminent in several regions. And yet, global attention has been faint, with headlines dominated by conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza. Sudan's tragedy has often slipped beneath the fold. Aid groups warn of what they call a crisis in plain sight. To understand why it matters, Sudan sits at the crossroads of Africa and the Arab world, bordering 7 countries. The collapse of its state risks spilling instability across an already fragile region, from Chad to Ethiopia, and even the Red Sea corridor that global trade depends on. But beyond geopolitics are human stories. Families crossing deserts on foot, mothers giving birth in makeshift camps, children growing up without schooling or safety. So as governments debate ceasefires and sanctions, remember this: silence is also a form of participation. The world can't claim ignorance, just inattention. Sudan isn't gone. It's waiting for us to look back. Now on to our health segment. Our topic: do you need to stretch before a run? Let's talk about stretching. That ritual we've all been told to not skip before a workout or run. You see people touching their toes, twisting, holding poses like statues. But here's the truth: not all stretching helps you warm up. If you're about to run, jump, or lift, those long static stretches you hold for 20 or 30 seconds aren't ideal beforehand. Studies show they can actually reduce muscle power and reaction speed right before activity. That's because static stretching relaxes your muscles, when what you really need is for them to wake up. So what should you do instead? Go dynamic. Dynamic stretching means controlled movements that gently raises your heart rate and mimics what's coming next. Try leg swings front to back and side to side, walking lunges, arm circles, light high knees or skipping drills. You're not trying to force flexibility, you're rehearsing motion. Think of it as your body's dress rehearsal before the performance. Now after your workout, that's when static stretching earns its keep. That's when holding a stretch for 20-30 seconds helps release tension and improve flexibility and cool your body down. It's your way of saying we're done now. And speaking of flexibility, it's not the same as mobility. Flexibility is how far a muscle can stretch, while mobility is how well a joint moves through its range. Dynamic warm-ups improve both and keeps you moving efficiently. That's why runners, swimmers, and lifters all benefit from them differently but equally. So quick recap. Before activity move, after activity hold. And if you only have 5 minutes, choose motion over meditation. Your muscles don't need a nap before the run, they need a rehearsal. And now for our big sip. Our topic, the great information leveling. Has it helped us? We used to live in a world where information was power, and power belonged to the few. If you knew the price before the buyer did, or the medicine before the patient did, you held the advantage. That's what economists call information asymmetry. But look around now, those walls have come down. With a few taps, anyone can compare prices, check reviews, watch tutorials, or even diagnose themselves. Information is everywhere, and everyone is an expert. So has this great leveling actually helped us? In the marketplace, yes, in many ways. Consumers are no longer blind. Investors see through corporate fog. Workers can check what their colleagues make. Transparency has made cheating harder and competition fairer. But it's also made our attention the new currency. The problem isn't that we can't find truth, it's that there's too much truth-adjacent noise competing for our clicks. Politics tells the same story. Anyone can fact-check the president in real time, or organize a protest from their phone. That's democracy and caffeine. Yet the same tools that expose lies can also amplify them. Misinformation spreads faster than correction, and algorithms quietly decide what we see. This creates a new kind of asymmetry, not of access but of influence. Even in our personal lives, radical transparency has rewritten the rules. We share our locations, our thoughts, our faces constantly. It's hard to hide and easier to connect. But we've also traded privacy for participation and sometimes mistake data for understanding. Knowing about someone isn't the same as knowing them. So yes, the fall of information barriers has helped us see more, buy smarter, and act faster. But wisdom hasn't kept the same pace. We've moved from a world of too little information to one of too much interpretation. The real skill now isn't access, it's discernment. It's learning when to listen and what to trust, and how to turn raw information back into human understanding. That's today's big sip, because knowledge may be power, but wisdom is peace. Now on to a lighter roast. Once a man, twice a child. There's an old saying, once a man, twice a child. You'll hear it whispered at family dinners or family reunions. Often when someone's granddad forgets his glasses for the third time, or tells that same story you've already heard a dozen times. But beneath the laughter is something tender, a reminder that life really does move in circles. We start our journey needing care, to eat, to walk, to be understood. And if we're lucky, we live long enough to see that need come back around. The roles quietly reverse. The ones who once held us steady now need us to steady them. That moment can be hard, not for just them but for us. We see the people who once seemed unshakable now ask for help with simple things. But there's beauty there too, because love deepens when it's tested by time. Caring for our elders isn't about paying back a debt, it's about honoring the same patience that once raised us. Maybe aging isn't decline at all. Maybe it's life softening, returning us to the essentials, warmth, presence, and gentleness. A reminder that we were never meant to rush through time, but to complete it. So if you're helping an aging parent today, or calling a grandparent who tells that same story again, smile, listen. They once did the same for you, just at the other end of time's circle. And the children watching now, your own kids, nieces, and nephews. They're learning from you how to love older folks. They're watching how patient sounds, how kindness looks when it's tired. Love them gently, because one day someone will be learning how to love you the same way. And for our November 3rd commemoration. November 3rd, a date that carries meaning across continents. In Japan, it's Culture Day, celebrating art, peace, and the pursuit of knowledge. A reminder that a nation's strength lives not only in power, but in creativity and understanding. In Bangladesh, it's Jail Killing Day, remembering 4 national leaders assassinated in 1975. It's a somber reflection on leadership, sacrifice, and integrity. In the Maldives, it's Victory Day, marking the defense against a 1988 coup attempt. Freedom, they remind us, survives through unity. And across the Caribbean, Dominica celebrates Independence Day, born in 1978, a small island that stands tall in self-determination and cultural pride. Panama too marks Independence Day, recalling its separation from Colombia in 1903 and the beginning of its national journey. And the United Arab Emirates' Flag Day unites citizens under a single banner, a symbol of progress and shared purpose. From Asia to the Caribbean, November 3 tells us a story of nations defining themselves, of resilience, and of renewed identity. Each celebration, whether joyous, solemn, reminds us freedom and unity are not given, they are practiced every day. That's today's commemoration, a day when history speaks in many languages, but with one voice. I'm Handel. Be curious, be kind, and top off that cup. Till next time.